Good morning, everyone. If you have never been to a center for spiritual living before, we believe there is one God, many paths to that God, and we are here to love, honor, and support you no matter what your divine path is. The Center for Spiritual Living Space Coast is a safe haven for people of all beliefs and lifestyles, whoever you are and wherever you find yourself on your journey of faith. You are welcome here. Today, our practitioner and guest speaker is Edgar Rivera, and he will be speaking on Dia de los Viviendos. So please welcome Edgar Rivera.
Good morning, everyone. I have 3 readings. They're all from Ernest Holmes' The Science of Mind. All of 3 readings support Patrice's talk, which I am going to be delivering for her since she's ill. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. First one, there are thousands of cases on record where people have penetrated the veil of flesh and seen into the beyond. If we cannot believe the experience of so many, how can we believe any experience at all? Of course, there is a large field for deception, and it is not probable that all alleged communications are real, but to state positively that they're all illusions is to throw the lie in the face of human thought and to say that it never sees clearly. There are certainly more arguments and evidence in favor of the theory of the possibility of spirit communication than against it. And so far as we are concerned, we are entirely convinced of the reality of this evidence. If spirit really exists, and if we all live in one mind, and if mentality, can communicate with mentality without the aid of the physical instrument, then spirit communication must be possible. Since we know that the above stated facts are true, we have no alternative other than to accept the conclusive evidence and to realize that while it may be difficult to communicate with this departed, yet it has been done. Jesus lived in the spiritual world just as normally as we live in the material and just as consciously. And what is the spiritual world? And where is it? It is right here. Could we but see it? Behind everything material stands the spiritual, supporting it, and without which there could be no material. And the last reading. We know by intuition that there is something beyond what we have so far consciously experienced in this world. Poets have sung about it, and there are moments in the lives of all when the veil seems thin between and we almost enter into the heavenly state. This is the meaning of coming to oneself. We are still in the awakening state. We have not yet consciously entered the state of perfect wholeness. We know that such a state is a reality and that we shall yet attain this reality. Nothing can dislodge this inner intuitive perception from our mentality. We know it as certainly as we know we live. This is God in us knowing himself. We are awakening to the realization that the universe is perfect and complete. It gives, it is love, it is good, and wills only good to all alike. Please join me in a moment of prayer. If it's comfortable for you, close your eyes, just sit back, relax, take in a deep breath, let it all go. Leave behind you everything that has brought you right up to this moment. Just let it go. Know that you are relaxed. You are at peace. You are totally involved and surrounded by love. Today, I'm so grateful for everything that's going on in this world. I'm so grateful for the fact that on Tuesday, many of us in the United States are going to be able to put our voice into how we want our government to continue moving forward. Tuesday is election day for many folks. And I know that all of us will be participating and doing our best and putting our input in there so that our great nation will continue moving forward positively. I know that everyone who has come here today is blessed beyond comparison. I know that we are all, and all of our loved ones, and including our family, we're all protected by the one divine love, the one that guides us, the one that allows us or keeps us happy, knowing that we're just sharing love all the time. And I know all of this to be true, and so it is. I'm Patrice now. Patrice has been preparing for this talk for a long time, and she's so upset that she can't be here. She just woke up in the middle of the night with a severe migraine, and she's in tears that she can't be here to talk with you personally. So bear with me as I deliver her message. It's all about today's Halloween. Happy Halloween. And Dia de los Muertos in Mexico and many places in Latin America. However, Patrice's talk is not talking about the dead, but really the living. And that's what this holiday is about. It started as a pagan religious festival. And pagan, by the way, means earth-based. In Gaelic, the Samhain welcome, that's what they call it, Samhain, and they welcome the harvest to usher the dark one half of the year, The Celts believe the barriers between the physical and the spiritual worlds breaks down during Samhain. The ancient Celts believed Samhain the most significant of the 4 festivals. It is midway between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. In the Middle Ages, they carved turnips called jack-o'-lanterns, and it began to appear that they were embedded with coal and attached to strings, then sticks. Later, the Irish tradition switched to pumpkins. The tradition of a lamb supper also started. And I have not been privy to Patrice going through all of these, so I don't have all of the other additional things that I'm sure she would be adding into her notes. So bear with me, please. A party in which the celebrants could only consume food after inviting their non-living ancestors to join in, which allowed families to interact with spirits. They left after dinner. The spirits left after dinner. The children played games to entertain the dead. Doors and windows were left open for the departed to come in and to eat the cakes that were left for them. In the 5th century, Pope Boniface attempted to reframe Samhain as a Christian celebration and moved it to May 13th to celebrate the saints and martyrs of the saints and martyrs. Of course, the ancient fire festival did not, however, end with this decree. In the 9th century, Pope Gregory moved it back, but declared All Saints' Day November 1st and All Souls' Day November 2nd. We former or recovering Catholics remember those dates well. Of course, the new holiday has changed the pagan aspects, but allowed October 31st to be known as All Hallows Eve or Halloween, which contained much of the traditional pagan practices before being adopted in America in the 19th century, and was brought by the Irish immigrants who brought their traditions across the ocean. One of the Irish and Scottish practices on the nights leading to the Samhain was humming, putting on, it's mumming, putting on costumes and going door to door, singing songs to the dead. Cakes were given as payments. There was also mild pranks, which were always blamed on the fairies. So you kind of see the connection with our trick or treat. The legend of Stingy Jack. According to the legend, he invited the devil to have a drink with him. And true to his name, he didn't want to pay. So he convinced the devil to turn himself into a coin to buy their drink. Once the devil did that, Jack kept the money in his pocket next to his silver cross, which prevented the devil from changing back. He did eventually release him, under the condition he could not bother Jack for a year, nor claim his gold should he die. The following year, Jack tricked the devil into climbing a tree to pick fruit. While the devil was up there, Jack carved a cross on the bark of the tree, and the devil couldn't come down. They reached a deal. The devil wouldn't bother Jack for 10 more years. Jack died soon after. And as the legend goes, God would not allow such a unsavory character into heaven. The devil couldn't take him, and he was furious. So Jack sent off with a piece of burning coal to light his way. Jack put it into a carved turnip and has roamed the earth ever since. This ghostly figure was Jack of the Lantern, or Jack-o'-lantern. People in Ireland and Scotland began carving scary faces into the turnips, potatoes, and the English beets. And Patrice has in there, this is the best use of beets because she doesn't like them. To fight Stingy Jack and other wandering evil spirits, as they arrived in the US, they found the pumpkins native to America made perfect jack-o'-lanterns. In 1951, the customs of Samhain and All Hallows Eve had become popular, and trick-or-treating was coined. A Peanut comic strip depicted trick-or-treating, and in 1952, Disney made a Donald Duck cartoon called Trick or Treat. The holiday of Halloween began full force. By the way, it was amazing as Patrice was doing her research on this, how much influence Disney has had in carving the traditions of the United States. So, Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos. It's a Mexican holiday where families welcome back the souls of their departed relatives. I hope that most of you or all of you have had the opportunity to watch the Disney Pixar movie Coco. We rented it again to see it several more times in preparation for this. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor and rent it, check it out. So in Dia de los Muertos, Coco, it's a brief reunion that includes food, drink, and celebration. A blend of Mesoamerican ritual, European religion, and Spanish culture, this holiday is October 31st through November 2nd. The roots go back 3,000 years. The Aztecs and other native people from central Mexico had the same cyclical view of the universe as the Celts, seeing death as an integral, ever-present part of life. It is not a Mexican version of Halloween. In fact, it predates Halloween and possibly Samhain. It is, as Samhain, a time which it believes the border between spirit world and the real world dissolves. During this brief time, the dead who are remembered awaken and return to feast, drink, and dance with their loved ones. The deceased's favorite foods were left graveside, along with other things and from their life, and decorated with coins and candles. In medieval Spain, people brought wine and spirit to the graves of their loved ones. The Aztecs used skulls to honor the dead a millennium before the Day of the Dead celebrations. When the Spanish conquered the Aztec Empire in the 16th century, the Catholic Church moved the indigenous celebrations throughout the year to the co-opt Catholic dates, All Saints' Day, All Souls' Day. They molded sugar skulls, painted and decorated the names of the deceased written across the foreheads. The altars included the 4 elements of live marigold, lined the graves, said that the strong scent guides them home. Families cleaned grave sites and placed favorite foods out. The belief that people are really dead, the belief is that people are really dead when you forget about them. And that's the main story in Coco. While they are alive in your mind, they are alive in your heart. Traditionally, Day of the Dead was celebrated in the ritual indigenous area of Mexico in the 1980s, and in the 1980s it began spreading into cities. UNESCO added the indigenous festival dedicated to the dead to the list of cultural heritage of humanity in 2008. Fiction guides reality. When in the 2015 James Bond movie Spectre, which featured a large Day of the Dead parade in Mexico City, became reality with the first ever parade in 2016. 2017, a number of major US cities, including Fort Lauderdale, held Day of the Dead parades that November. Disney once again brought it into pop culture with the movie Coco. Dia de los Muertos. Evolved, but remained the same for thousands of years. A time to remember and celebrate those who have moved on. So it portrayed death as a positive light, a natural part of the human experience. In 1894, an article in Christian Work described the holiday as a time when witches, evil spirits, and all mischief brewing spirits went forth on the mysterious midnight revels. Here's another important thing. Our life is passed on. Our memories are passed down through the life of those who remember us. Music is my language. This is Patrice, but mine as well. And the world is my familia. Let our love live on and know that I am with you the only way I can be. Keep our love alive and I will never fade away. There's a song that begins Coco and is throughout Coco, and it's called Remember Me. And again, that is going with the tradition that as long as we remember our departed loved ones, that they are still alive. Of course, that's a tradition. I believe we are all alive, be it in our bodies or once we leave our bodies, we still live. We still live on. I've had the good fortune of experiencing physical connection with some departed loved ones. And don't know how it's done, and I wish it never stops. I wish you all a good day.